Hello, Entheos Academy. This is Miss Leek doing another edition of First Chapter Friday. The book I chose this week is nonfiction, and I love nonfiction, but I haven't been sharing that with you because many students kind of struggle with nonfiction. But the book this week is very worthwhile. It's called The Hiding Place. I read this book many years ago, and it left such an impression on my mind. It is the true story, because it's nonfiction. It's the true story of Corrie Ten Boom and her family. They hid Jews during World War II, and because of that, they were caught and they were sent to a concentration camp. And clearly, Corrie survived that, and this is the book that she talks about the experience of hiding the Jews and also of being in the concentration camp. And then at the end, a pretty powerful story of forgiveness. One thing that a quote that I wanted to share, a woman is asking, like, will you please hide me and my baby? And this is from Corrie's father, because someone is questioning him, like, would you really do that? Would you really give your life for that Jewish baby? And he said, you say we could lose our lives for this child? I would consider that the greatest honor that could come to my family. So I just think it's a really powerful story. It's sad, and it's definitely atrocious to read the things that people did to each other during World War II. But I do think the story has great power and great hope. So here is The Hiding Place.
All rights reserved. Please visit christianaudio.com to offer your impressions of this work and to explore additional titles. Chapter 1. The 100th Birthday Party. I jumped out of bed that morning with one question in my mind: sun or fog? Usually, it was fog in January in Holland, dank, chill, and gray. But occasionally, on a rare and magic day, a white winter sun broke through. I leaned as far as I could from the single window in my bedroom. It was always hard to see the sky from the bayou. Blank brick walls looked back at me, the backs of other ancient buildings in this crowded center of old Harlem. But up there, where my neck craned to see, above the crazy roofs and crooked chimneys, was a square of pale pearl sky. It was going to be a sunny day for the party. I attempted a little waltz as I took my new dress from the tipsy old wardrobe against the wall. Father's bedroom was directly under mine, but at 77 he slept soundly. That was one advantage to growing old, I thought, as I worked my arms into the sleeves and surveyed the effect in the mirror on the wardrobe door. Although some Dutch women in 1937 were wearing their skirts knee-length, mine was still a cautious 3 inches above my shoes. You're not growing younger yourself, I reminded my reflection. Maybe it was the new dress that made me look more critically at myself than usual. 45 years old, unmarried, waistline long since vanished. My sister Betsy, though 7 years older than I, still had that slender grace that made people turn and look after her in the street. Heaven knows it wasn't her clothes. Our little watch shop had never made much money. But when Betsy put on a dress, something wonderful happened to it. On me, until Betsy caught up with them, hems sagged, stockings tore, and collars twisted. But today I thought, standing back from the mirror as far as I could in the small room, the effect of dark maroon was very smart. Far below me, down on the street, the doorbell rang. Callers? Before 7 in the morning? I opened my bedroom door and plunged down the steep, twisting stairway. These stairs were an afterthought in this curious old house. Actually, it was 2 houses. The one in front was a typical tiny old Harlem structure, 3 stories high, 2 rooms deep, and only 1 room wide. At some unknown point in its long history, Its rear wall had been knocked through to join it with the even thinner, steeper house in back of it, which had only 3 rooms, one on top of the other, and this narrow corkscrew staircase squeezed between the two. Quick as I was, Betsy was at the door ahead of me. An enormous spray of flowers filled the doorway. As Betsy took them, a small delivery boy appeared. "Nice day for the party, miss," he said, trying to peer past the flowers, as though coffee and cake might already be set out. He would be coming to the party later, as indeed it seemed would all of Harlem. Betsy and I searched the bouquet for the card. "Pickwick," we shouted together. Pickwick was an enormously wealthy customer who not only bought the very finest watches, but often came upstairs to the family part of the house above the shop. His real name was Herman Slurring.
Okay, so that is the beginning part. Obviously, she has survived the concentration camp at the beginning of the book because she went when she was younger. So it's kind of like a flashback, and then she explains how the family hid Jews, and the name of the book is The Hiding Place. So they had a hiding place in their house, and she talks about that, and it's just a really powerful story that I highly recommend.